What do members of Generation Alpha want to be when they grow up? The staff of Ellie Sparkles asked 1,000 5 to 8-year-olds what they wanted to be when they grow up. It seems there are some careers that have stood the test of time, while others have been replaced by new dreams. Just for some more basic info before we get into it, if this was conducted in 2022, which I think it was, then these would have been kids born between 2013 and 2017. Obviously, we don't know for sure what birth years are going to be associated with Generation Alpha, but I think this is a nice little sample to check in on. And also, they don't mention it, but the numbers do add up to over 100%, so I am assuming that some of the kids would have given multiple answers. Okay, let's dive in. The most popular choice is one that has been popular in the past, but it may be even more popular now. Over a quarter of children said they would like to become a healthcare professional. Note that the way they divided it, dentist/dental nurse, is a separate category, but also in the top 10. In 2015, Fatherly.com conducted a similar survey. They found that doctor was the top choice for girls, but it wasn't even the top 5 for boys. It was also 10% lower than what we found in the Ellie Sparkles study, but it is possible that is influenced by survey methods to a degree. In a 2018 Harris poll of kids a little older, age 8 to 12, no healthcare options were present in the top 5, though. This could be one of the ways that we are seeing the next generation, or at least these specific kids, impacted by the past few years. The second most popular selection was teacher at 16.5%. Teacher is another one that has been a popular choice over time. I think one reason is teachers are often who kids spend the most time with, aside from their families and peers. This has generally continued to be true, and for those who were social distancing in recent years, it's maybe even more true. I know many teachers feel stressed these days, but obviously this kind of aspiration shows that they are having a positive impact. The Sparkles staff notes that teacher was the most common choice at 23% among 8-year-olds. That makes sense since they have been in school longer. The third most common selection was scientist. The article says 12% of children said they dream of working in science, whether it be as a biologist out in the field or a chemist in the lab. This is another one that has been historically popular. Unlike the first two and the next two, I don't really know where kids are getting exposed to scientists, but it seems like a good thing that they're still interested. The fourth most popular pick is one that hasn't been around for as long, and that is TikToker/vlogger/YouTuber. Also worth noting is that this is a separate category from social media influencer, which comes later. If we did combine them, it would actually be second. Ultimately, Gen Z was the first to have an aspiration like this because these just weren't options before. If we're talking TikTok specifically, that one is particularly new. I think there are a lot of people, probably maybe older people, who may be surprised by a choice like this, but it makes a lot of sense when you consider that the kids are being exposed to these people and what they do digitally and on their screens in a very similar way to the next choice, which has been popular over time. And the next choice, number 5, is actor. 10.9% of kids said they would like to be an actor when they grow up. Next up is a tie, so I'm just going to say 6 and 7, and they are dancer and police officer. Just under 10% of kids chose each of these. I find the dancer aspiration interesting, as I don't think it's been as popular as a career choice, and it makes me wonder if this also has been influenced by TikTok, or if more kids are enrolled in dance, or if maybe it's all the dancing shows on TV. I'm not sure. Police officer, I think, has been relatively popular, though. It was the 10th most popular choice in the Fatherly survey. After that comes veterinarian at 9.1%. I don't know about other generations, but I think this is one that has been popular from the millennial generation and younger. The 9th most common choice was dentist/dental nurse, and the 10th most popular choice was a tie between social media influencer and zookeeper. And the rest they recorded were professional sportsperson/athlete, firefighter, pilot, babysitter/nanny, musician/singer, construction worker, artist, professional gamer, and chef. One that is down from seemingly where it used to be is professional athlete, and it does seem maybe Gen Z and Gen Alpha could be a little less interested in sports than past generations. Still, this was actually the most common choice in the 2015 survey done by Fatherly, but it is pretty far down this time. It does seem doctor, teacher, and scientist seem to stay up there, standing the test of time, while chef/baker, veterinarian, police officer, firefighter, and professional athlete, for example, remain also, but vary a little bit in how popular they are. One historically popular choice, though, which is absent from this most recent survey, is astronaut. Astronaut was in the top 10 in the Fatherly.com 2015 survey, and it was in the top 5 in a survey done by Harris poll in 2018. Has influencer pushed astronaut out of the running? One interesting thing about the Harris survey is they also polled kids in China and the UK. The results from the UK were almost identical to those in the US, but in China, astronaut was still the top choice. Ellie Sparkles' survey also covered some other topics, such as what was most important to kids in their future jobs, what was most important to their parents for them, and what their ideal work setup would look like. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. Also, if you're curious, here are some of the less common job choices from the Ellie Sparkles survey. Queen Princess, toy tester, robot inventor, cowgirl, and working in an ice cream shop, which I have done. And some of the unique choices from the 2015 Fatherly Survey, while we're on it, include superhero, kitty cat, hedge fund manager, and dinosaur. Did anything from the survey surprise you, not surprise you? Comment below. And if you enjoyed, give a thumbs up and subscribe to see more content on the generations and related type content. And I will see you next time.